Hey folks, welcome. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And today we are going to go over a story from the Daily Mail where a Penn State professor basically showcases how absolutely racist Penn State actually is and how absolutely awful critical race theory and wokeness really is, as basically they just think white people are just absolute evil, as we're going to find out in this story. So before we get into it, hey folks, if you enjoy my content, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. I appreciate all the help and support, folks. So let's get into this. Penn State professor sues the college after he claimed he was forced to teach that the English language is racist and the embodiment of white supremacy. Wow, I didn't know letters and words discriminated against who used them. But let's get into this. So an English professor who worked at Pennsylvania State University is suing the college on claims that they racially discriminated against him and other white staff. Zack De Piero, 40, served as an assistant professor of English and composition at Penn State-Abington from 2018 to 2022. During this time, he claims he was forced to grade Hispanic and Black students differently and was subject to exercises centered on critical race theory where white staff were made to feel terrible. Why? Because we're progressive and we believe in equality, so long as we are in control and we can tell you what to do. Like, these people are disgusting. So the lawsuit, which was filed earlier this month in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, also claims he was forced to teach that the English language is racist and embodies white supremacy. That in and of itself shows how racist they are. When you're just going to call language racist, like I've heard them say math is racist, this is racist, anything to get rid of any standard. And that way they can have people in Baltimore and inner city schools that seemingly can't do basic math or any arithmetic at all. Like, that's what they produce. But De Piero, the son of first-generation immigrants from Italy, said his family were actively discriminated against, instilling a lifelong commitment to treating all Americans equal, the lawsuit reads. The 40-year-old said that after alerting the university of his perceived discrimination, officials allegedly retaliated by filing a bullying and harassment complaint against him and handed down lower scores on his annual performance review. When he complained about the continuous stream of racial insult directed at white faculty in the writing department, the director of the Affirmative Action Office told him that, quote, there is a problem with the white race, the lawsuit alleged. Now, imagine if the skin colors were reversed. Imagine if it was a black person and the white person said that about them. I mean, this would be absolutely everywhere in the liberal media and everyone would be losing their minds. But I mean, they have it on the Daily Mail, but I haven't seen this more or less really anywhere else. But, go figure. It added that he should attend anti-racist workshops until he gets it and that he might have mental issues. See, think like us, or you're crazy, or you're racist, or you're this, but you have to think like us because we're right. Like, these people are literally the exact craziness that they accuse everyone else of being. According to the court filing, some of the workshops included a presentation captioned, white teachers are a problem. If that is not outright racist, like, what if that said black teachers are racist, or black teachers are a problem, or Hispanic teachers are a problem? Like, it would be everywhere. And yet, nothing. Go figure. De Piero told Fox News that because he was white, he was inherently flawed on the basis of history. In other words, you're guilty for the sins of your father. As a white individual, I'm somehow responsible for all the injustices and suffering currently in the world and in the history of the world, he said. Never mind, it was white people, the Americans and the British, who stamped out slavery violently on the high seas in naval battles with pirates. Like, white people died to end slavery. The same people that you're accusing of, by the way. I think there's almost a religious cult-like environment where you had this original sin. In this case, I'm white. I need to repent for that sin. I need to keep going to these trainings, keep doing the work. I think they were waging a psychological war campaign, and they're trying to break people, and they almost broke me, but they didn't. He was enraged by his treatment after dedicating his career to working with underprivileged and marginalized communities at work and in his personal life. How, quote, how dare you demean anybody based on their natural characteristics that they have no control over, De Piero told the outlet. Of course, like these people, remember, the Democrats are the same party, the Confederacy, who owned slaves and fought for them. They're the same party who did not support the Voting Rights Act and many other legislations in the 60s, nearly as much as Republicans did. The voting rights, I believe Republicans voted for it 80% across the board, whereas Democrats were 63% in the Senate and 67% in the House. They also had no problem putting all sorts of black fathers in jail in the 91 and 94 crack epidemic. Legislation that they passed, never mind Hunter Biden's son, who apparently is exempt from those rules. But they claim that they're for the small guy. They're for, the black community. These people have just been using other people this entire time. And now it's coming to a head. Liliana Nadan, who De Piero said he had to report to express her view that racism practiced against white faculty and students is legitimate according to the lawsuit. It's been claimed that Nadan tried to introduce equity into the grading process to ensure there weren't disparities by penalizing students academically on the basis of race. But you're forcing people to change the scores. Like, there was no difference. Now you've literally made it. Like, you're the ones who literally made rulings. Oh, you need to grade these. Like, you put it in writing. Nobody else did that. You did that. Defendants' bigotry manifests itself in low expectations. They do not expect Black or Hispanic students to achieve the same mastery of academic subject matters as other students, and therefore insist that deficient performance must be excused, the lawsuit said. Never mind, doing that means that they don't actually learn the skills that they need to qualify or get the job that they want to get. They get out of school being half as good as everyone else, and they can't figure out why. Oh, it must be race. No, it's because you literally can't do the job because you've been just babied your entire life, and now you can't do it. Second, defendants' bigotry manifests itself in overt discrimination against students and faculty who do apply consistent standards, especially white faculty. So, hold on a second. Like, the white faculty is guilty of consistent standards? Like, what? That's how crazy these people are. In one exercise, a former equity officer named in the suit, Alina Wong, allegedly engaged staff in a breathing exercise suggesting white staff hold their breath longer than people of color to feel the pain that George Floyd endured, the lawsuit claimed. Really? Really? The guy who swallowed a bunch of drugs and fentanyl, that's why his lungs weighed 3 times the normal weight. I think that pain was self-induced. Never mind the crime he committed before then, and never mind the 20 years of crime he did before that. De Piero and other faculty were thus singled out, caused to experience discomfort and feel the pain on the basis of their skin color, the lawsuit said. Wong no longer works at Penn State and is currently the vice president for institutional equity at Macalester College, according to her LinkedIn. Like, think about this. These people have got to have one of the sweetest jobs ever. These DEI nut jobs and professional hate mongers get paid like more money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, to go to these corporations and companies and basically just tell everybody who to blame and hate on them for it. Like, that's it. Dude, that's a killer job. Like, comedians try and do that with jokes, and they don't even make that much a lot of the time. And yet these people are dead serious about it, and they're making bank. It was also claimed that Naden instructed her writing faculty to teach that white supremacy exists in language itself. Therefore, that the English language itself is racist, and furthermore, that white supremacy exists in the teaching of writing of English. And therefore, writing teachers are themselves racist white supremacists. Like, these people are out of their effing minds. So basically that means that we shouldn't just teach anything. No one should learn anything because it's all terrible and it's all racist. That way everybody can accomplish nothing. It was also claimed that Naden endorsed a view that racism against white people isn't racism. The lawsuit continued. Penn State actively treated De Piero as the problem, suggesting mental health treatment and disciplining him for bullying when he dared to complain. As a result, De Piero's only option to escape the hostile environment, which is federally a crime, hostile work environments is a federal issue, was to leave Penn State. This constructive termination occurred on August 2nd, 2022. When contacting Naden for comment, Penn State Assistant Vice President for Media and Executive Communications for the university told Daily Mail Penn State does not generally comment on pending litigation. Speaking to CenterDaily.com, Powers added a lengthier response and said, quote, the university has repeatedly affirmed its active and ongoing commitment to diversity and equity and made clear its desire to create an inclusive and respectful environment in which to live, work, and study. Folks, that is the biggest BS line ever. I want you to look at this for a second because, all right, they always mention diversity and equity. So what is the diversity? Diversity is forcing racial outcomes. It's forcing racial outcomes. Okay, that's not free. That's governmental interference. And now you're picking people based on color. That's what diversity is. And then you have equity. All right. What is that? That is equality of outcome. Everybody gets the same. That way nobody can have standards. Everything's to the lowest standard. That way everyone has equity. Everyone's the same. That's what it does. And look what it does. New York, LA, Chicago, Portland, nothing but drug addicts, people who can't hold jobs, people who are leaving, absolute chaos. That's what equity does. And then they say inclusive. Well, they aren't inclusive because they're not inclusive to this guy. They're not inclusive to this gentleman right here. No. They're not inclusive for anyone else who goes against the grain. You have to think like us. And if you don't, you're hateful, you're a bigot, and we're going to cancel you, and we're going to make your life miserable, and you're evil. And you also don't get free speech, and you don't get to say anything else because we have to control the narrative. When they say inclusive, no. Like that's not actually what they mean. This is exclusive. They create an exclusive environment. Exclusive means only the people who think like us are welcome. That's what exclusive is. Inclusive is not that, but that's what wokeness does. It twists language to mean something other than what it actually is. And when they say respectful environment to which to live, work, and study, yeah, so long as you do exactly what they say. These people are just fascists. In June 2022, De Piero received his annual performance evaluation and disagreed with the lower scores. He told the outlet that the service component of his work was rated only as fair to good, the equivalent of a 2 on a 5-point scale when he used to receive scores more in line with a 4 out of 5. He resigned less than 2 months later. Quote, I envision a long, productive career at Penn State as a composition instructor and educational researcher, but the experiences of the past 2+ years have taught me that at Penn State, I'm unable to stand up for essential principles for civil rights, workers' rights, educational excellence without professional penalties being imposed, De Piero wrote in his resignation letter. I will now turn my attention to advocating for these principles from outside the Penn State University system. He now works as an assistant professor of English at Northampton Community College. Folks, these people are out of their effing minds. They are going to destroy everything around us because everything needs to be the same. Everyone needs to be this. That's not real. That's not reality. And these people try to bend everything to what they want instead of the other way around. The way it should be is we understand reality as it is, and we have to conform to it because reality doesn't give a damn about how you feel or what you think. And these folks trying to do this, it's no different than trying to smash a square peg in a round hole. You can do it as long as you want. It's never going to work. And that's how absolutely insane wokeness has made these people, that they're willing to go this far to destroy someone who literally is just trying to teach English and reading and writing. But hey, folks, hey, if you're at Penn State, this is probably a good sign to leave. And if you're not, this is a good sign not to go to Penn State. So try to get a good education somewhere else, folks. And with that, I will wish you adieu. Have a good day. Take care of your friends. Take care of your families. I will try to bring some new stuff as soon as I can. And with that said, hey, have a good day. Take care. And I'll see you next time.